Takuma, Akane's boyfriend, dumps her for a girl named Eri, whom he met in the online game Forest of Savior, which they both play. Akane ends up lashing out at Yamada, an online guildmate known for being cold and antisocial, after logging on to FOS. She notices an invitation to a real-world FOS event. Akane has a makeover to ensure Takuma regrets dumping her, but at the event she trips trying to get Takuma to notice her. She is helped up by a handsome man she recognizes as Yamada due to his cold demeanor. Takuma is a huge Yamada fan, so Akane bribes him with a super rare game item in order for him to pose as her new boyfriend. Takuma is envious, but Eri cheers him up, leaving Akane unsatisfied and unhappy. Over drinks, Akane and the hesitant Yamada discuss his career as a famous pro gamer who receives sponsorship to compete in official competitions. He also has no desire to date. Akane cries and gets drunk after Yamada buys band-aids for her scratched ankle to dull the pain of rejection. Akane wakes up hungover in Yamada's apartment the next morning, with Yamada gaming nearby. Akane suspects she and Yamada slept together, but all he did was let her sleep. He requests that she leave and not see him again. Akane notices her necklace, Takuma's first gift to her, is missing. When Yamada is found in FOS, he insists that it is not at his apartment and then criticizes her for taking up too much space in the guild storage box. Akane logs out, frustrated. Yamada discovers the necklace after tripping over it and breaking it. Akane realizes she must let go of Takuma. She sees Yamada in public harshly rejecting a classmate's confession and feels compelled to scold him, despite the fact that Yamada must be a senior in high school. Yamada apologizes for the broken necklace and offers her his umbrella in the rain. Akane's mother abruptly sends all of her belongings from her childhood bedroom the next day, filling her small apartment with boxes. She realizes why Yamada was upset about the guild storage box, and she discards everything she no longer requires. She returns to Yamada, now drunk, to thank him for everything. Yamada even suggests that it would be nice to see her in FOS again. Akane logs on to FOS after a disastrous singles mixer and accidentally eavesdrops on Yamada and guild leader Ruriheim, leading her to suspect they are dating. This is more depressing for her than the mixer. At college, she meets a guy whose name she can't remember from the mixer and ignores him when she sees Yamada talking to a girl she suspects is Ruriheim, making her feel even worse. She resolves to avoid FOS for the time being, but Ruriheim unexpectedly invites her to a cafe mixer for the entire guild, including Yamada. Akane struggles to follow the directions to the cafe until a handsome guild member offers to direct her there. Akane addresses the girl with Yamada as Ruriheim but is embarrassed when she isn't. A flashback to the night Akane slept drunk at Yamada's apartment reveals that she did not pass out immediately. Instead, she began crying over Takuma, so Yamada held her until she fell asleep. The handsome man turns out to be Ruriheim, real name Ida, an old school friend of Yamada. Takizo, an elderly man who specializes in raiding dungeons and whom Akane has never met in FOS, also joins them. The girl is Ida's sister Runa, who plays FOS so infrequently that few people know she's a guild member. Akane is relieved Yamada is indeed single and did not deceive her. Runa despises Akane's causal relationship with Yamada and demands to know if she loves him, prompting Ida to chastise her. Akane is taken aback by Runa's question and becomes agitated. Meanwhile, Yamada is concerned that Akane is upset with him, which irritates Ida because Yamada doesn't understand girls at all. Yamada recalls a childhood acquaintance. After the mixer, Runa decides to expel Akane from the guild out of jealousy. Akane struggles to maintain a conversation with Yamada on the train home but settles on food. When Akane discovers his poor diet, she gives him days' worth of home-cooked meals from her freezer, confusing him. Runa apologizes and invites Akane to spend Saturday with her as friends. Yamada is suspicious because he knows Runa already has plans for Saturday. Yamada reveals that he tutors Runa on Saturdays but is unsure whether to tell Akane. Akane finds Runa arranging a blind date for her with a middle-aged man who believes Akane is Ruriheim, so she goes to the bathroom to call Runa. Yamada notices Runa avoiding answering the phone, confirming her plan to prank Akane. When the man follows Akane to the bathroom, she is terrified. Yamada instructs Ida, who realizes Runa arranged for Akane to meet a random Ruriheim superfan, to chastise Runa for putting Akane in danger with a potential internet stalker. Everyone rushes to help Akane, who has a broken leg. Ida is enraged, but the man was genuinely checking to see if Akane was sick in the bathroom, and she inadvertently injured her leg by falling over. Yamada apologizes for not revealing the joke earlier. Runa apologizes after realizing she has put Akane in danger. Ida intends to reprimand Runa severely, but Akane sends everyone away to speak with Runa alone. Runa confesses what she did, and they reconcile. Yamada is taken with Akane. The superfan, still believing she is Ruriheim, proposes marriage and is flatly rejected. According to flashbacks, Runa was coddled by her parents and Ida, making her selfish, childish, and unable to make friends outside of the internet. Then she meets Akane, whom she considers a friend, but she is aware that Akane is older and has other friends in addition to her, so their friendship is not one of equals. Despite this, she has grown fond of Akane. Runa becomes irritated about sharing Akane while also hanging out with Akane's other friend, Momo. Akane believes Yamada and she have grown closer since he apologized for an insensitive statement with an emoji. Akane's computer shorts out, preventing her from playing FOS, so Ida and Runa send Yamada to repair it. Yamada thanks Akane abruptly for the frozen meals she gave him, making her happy. Runa begins to suspect that Ida was correct, Akane could be the ideal match for Yamada. At the suggestion of Ida, Runa plots a love comedy ending by pushing Akane onto Yamada for a lucky pervert scene, but this only hurts Yamada's eye. When Akane tries to see Yamada's eye by putting their faces close together, Runa's plot is partially successful. Her proximity takes Yamada aback, and he quickly departs, claiming he forgot his computer repair tools. Yamada purchases a drink but inadvertently offends the employee, a recent graduate from his school, by rebuffing her when she inquires about his name. When he returns, he finds Akane and Runa asleep, with Akane's hair tied back. He unties her hair without waking her up, feeling guilty. Yamada answers Akane's door and discovers her ex, Takuma, who is surprised by Yamada's presence in Akane's home but is certain Yamada isn't dating her, irritating Yamada on Akane's behalf. Takuma wonders if she's alright, but he decides that seeing him will upset her, so he leaves. Akane hears everything but is unconcerned. She notices her hair is down, and Yamada admits he did it but can't explain why, which perplexes her. Akane finds work at a convenience store near her college. With her laptop repaired, Akane returns to FOS and meets Takizo online for the first time, discovering that his avatar is a 1-inch tall micronist, perfect for dungeon raiding. Ida requests Akane's help clearing a dungeon as payment for the laptop repair. Yamada is asked to participate in the festival pageant at school, but he declines just as Ida informs him that he, Runa, Takizo, and Akane will attend as FOS representatives. Akane notices Runa is ill from stress at the festival because she is about to take the entrance exam for the school. Akane notices Yamada is busy with his class and decides not to interrupt him while she recovers. Yamada notices her and approaches her, making her smile. A nurse diagnoses Runa as simply hungry, so Akane and Yamada go to the food stalls for her, though being with Yamada raises jealous questions from the girls they pass, causing them to be delayed. Ida jokes that since the rumors have begun, they might as well start dating, which embarrasses Akane, who flees. Ida begins to follow her, but Yamada beats him to it and stops her for the first time by using her first name. He regrets the poor joke. Akane asks him what he would have done if she had agreed to date him but dismisses it as the same dating joke. She is surprised when Yamada responds that he hasn't considered it because she is too good for someone like him. Yamada's classmate Okamoto takes his place in the pageant, angering the female audience while gaining support from the male audience. Yamada sees Akane at her convenience store job and asks him to wait for her because she has cooked him healthy meals for the second time. Her co-workers are surprised that she and her boyfriend are not dating. Yamada saves her from being hit by a bicycle, which profoundly impacts her because she is unsure if falling in love with him is acceptable. Runa is upset that a new female player has joined the guild because she fears she will be friendly and steal Akane from her. Akane is surprised that Yamada's classmate has accepted his invitation. Tsubaki, a classmate, appears to have a crush on Yamada and dislikes the thought of him with other girls. He appears irritated when he calls Akane. She asks Yamada if he likes Akane, but despite having fond memories of her, he is unable to respond. While Yamada is tutoring Runa, Akane calls to inform her that she will be unable to play FOS that night. Akane's cold has worsened due to working overtime, going without food, and the doctor's clinic is closed for the weekend. She tries to go shopping but trips and falls outside her apartment. Yamada appears and saves her. In her confusion, she concludes that she must be dreaming about Yamada, who picks her up and drives her to her apartment. Yamada's absence bothers Tsubaki, who remembers falling in love with him after he beat her in another online game. She now worries that she waited too long and lost him. Tsubaki also recalls Yamada telling her about how a classmate was bullied for having a crush on him a long time ago, causing her to transfer schools. Yamada began avoiding girls completely, prompting Tsubaki to postpone confessing to him until now. As Akane's condition worsens, Yamada transports her to the hospital and returns home when she is discharged. When she wakes up, she remembers nothing and is concerned that Yamada is sleeping in her apartment. She sobs as she realizes how much he helped her despite the trouble he caused. Yamada remembers the girl from before and how badly he failed her, but Akane talking about her breakup helps him feel better and understand the situation better. Her dehydration causes a leg cramp, which Yamada relieves, revealing to her that, despite being on her bed, she feels safe with him. Her expression makes him laugh. Yamada departs, despite Akane's desire for him to stay and her sadness at his departure. Momo pays Akane a visit while she recovers and is convinced he is in love with her after hearing what Yamada did. Akane participates in FOS and eventually meets Tsubaki, so the two go monster hunting with Ida. Ida purposefully holds back, allowing Akane and Tsubaki to collaborate on an unbeatable boss monster and form a tentative friendship. Akane calls Yamada for information on the boss monster and devises a strategy. Tsubaki tells Ida that she joined FOS for selfish reasons but doesn't go into detail. Ida advises her to go for it, or nothing will ever change. Akane tells Yamada she enjoyed hearing his voice before abruptly hanging up. She arranges for coffee with Momo to get her honest take on why Takuma dumped her so she can heal from their breakup. They are abruptly joined by two men from Momo's previous group date, both of whom she finds insensitive and annoying. Fortunately, they are saved by Ida, a waiter at the cafe, who moves the guys to another table. Momo is envious that Akane knows yet another attractive man. Akane decides to ask Ida a question as well. Akane is embarrassed, so Momo says it for her. Akane is in love and wants to know why she was dumped before. Ida assures her that Yamada is much kinder than Takuma and that with Yamada's personality, she should be direct with him. Akane decides to confess right away. Momo makes a move on Ida as soon as Akane leaves. When she arrives at Yamada's house, she tries to confess, but Yamada has to leave for cram school. He follows him but refuses to confess in public. Yamada says he'll call after class. It begins to rain, and Yamada is forced to share his umbrella with Tsubaki. Tsubaki confesses her love to him just as they are about to part ways. When Yamada texts her that he will have to call her another day, Akane is disappointed. Ida later questions Yamada about Akane's confession. Yamada, mistaking him for Tsubaki, responds that he is unsure, so Ida tells him to respond quickly. He goes to see Akane, who notices he's upset and decides to cheer him up by talking about FOS. Later, Yamada goes out to speak with Tsubaki. Tsubaki goes on a rambling rant about everything she likes about Yamada after some awkwardness, making him increasingly uncomfortable. Tsubaki feels enormous relief at finally saying it but is not surprised when he rejects her, finally admitting for the first time that he likes Akane. Tsubaki returns home, holding back her tears until Yamada has left. Akane goes out to dinner with Ida, Runa, and Takizo, who is a company president in real life. Yamada arrives late and is assigned to look after Akane, who is cheerfully drunk after not realizing how strong the alcohol is. He decides to skip dinner and drive her safely home, holding her hand the entire time. She drunkenly asks if he likes her at her apartment. He admits it, then promises to return the next day to admit it again, just in case she has hangover amnesia. She asks if she can call him in the morning to hear him say it, and they hug goodnight. The next day, Akane struggles with having a boyfriend who is younger than she is, and she is concerned about being a distraction or a burden. Yamada can't help but recall their chaotic first encounter months ago as they walk hand in hand. Thanks for watching. If this series is the most liked in my anime recap production, I will make a part 2. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to help me make more content.